Yeah. You just said you're heading off to a meeting
At 3:30.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll send you an email just see if you're free next week.
Okay.
I figured you might be hanging out after this.
No, I would like to, but I'm booked for the rest of the day.
Oh,
Sorry.
right.
Yeah.
Last day before.
Yep. You're working all weekend.
I told the guys at Brush Truck it's too nice looking to get all messed up and scratched.
It's gorgeous, huh? Yeah. Yeah, we decided to just leave the body polished aluminum. It's
Right.
gonna get straight.
Right.
You know, we'll still buff it out, but it'll probably look better in the long run that way than a bunch of, scraggly marks in the paint,
Right.
you know?
Big tree limbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can start with that, Tracy, if you're worried about that piece of it.
I am, and we got shoot
Yep.
black on it.
How you doing?
Yeah, no, I just checked it, we're live,
out there?
recording.
did,
You want the transcript?
Yeah, so that's what,
Yeah.
that's the brush it is.
No, that's a,
Okay. So it can go, it's like,
It's macro, four-wheel drive, going up way up in the, what I call the Spanish country.
Yeah. yeah, so that's.
Yeah.
Good, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
John, I think you're on.
I'll tell John.
Can you all hear me all right? Great. Hi, I'm John Bolden, I'm there. President of the LBC, calling the July board meeting of the Fort Leavenworth Village Council to order. And thank you all for being here. We'll follow Robert's Rules of Order for small boards, and this meeting is being recorded and actually broadcast as we speak on our YouTube channel. So first of all, welcome everyone. For those of you that get an agenda, there are agendas over there on the table. We have a fairly full agenda today, and Chief Black has other obligations pending, but has agreed to be here. We put him first on our agenda for stakeholder reports. So Chief Black, thanks for being here, and you're welcome to share with us as you wish.
Sure. Would you like me up there, or?
Sure, yeah, come on
Okay,
up.
yeah.
Make sure everybody can hear you. Use the mic.
I gotta get you in the screen too.
Okay. First of all, thank you for the invitation. Really appreciate the opportunity to come and show off our brand new fire engine outside. It's the first brand new brush engine we've ever owned, collectively with Fort Ludlow and East Jefferson. So we're really proud of it. It will increase our wildfire capabilities and, more importantly, the safety of the firefighters when it is deployed either regionally or across the nation. We've been this for a far away as California to help fight wildfires in the past. So we're really excited for that opportunity. I'd also like to say thank you to some of you in the room that I saw on Saturday at the All County Preparedness Day. In my opinion, that was the most successful event in my short time here in Mercer County. I think I heard numbers of approximating double what we normally expect at that event. And we got a bunch of positive responses from the neighborhood groups and the community at large. I have a brief update just on the state of East Jefferson fire and then a little bit on the wildfire situation. So I'll just kind of go through here. But if anybody has any questions, I'm pretty informal, just raise your hand. If I throw out an acronym you don't understand, kind of know for that, I'm happy to stop and explain it. Just current events with East Jefferson. Our annual report was just posted live on our website at ejfr.org, and we have some pretty impressive stats in there. Our response times increased 11% last year, which is pretty remarkable. Normally, with an increase in call volume and the demand that we have for service, you would expect our response times to go down, or to not go down, but to go longer. And to see an 11% improvement is a real remarkable thing. And that really comes from optimizing how we dispatch, some efficiencies with the computer dispatching upgrades that we spent with GEFCOM, and more importantly, the workforce. We are fully staffed for the past 2 years post-merger with Port Ludlow. We have a minimum staffing of 13 firefighters per day. And just 5 years ago, collectively, between the old 2 departments, minimum staffing was 7 combined. So we've done a lot in a short amount of time. We're pretty proud of that. In 2024, we had over 5,800 911 calls. We changed 250 smoke detectors. And we did over 19,000 hours of training for 116 members. That's a lot of training. Our volunteer force is growing, and it's approximately 2/3 or 1/3 of our career staff. So we have about 70 career staff and the remainder are volunteers. We were able to hold on to our water tender credit with WSRB, which is also a real strict benchmark, but we're pretty proud of that. And again, that goes to our volunteers. Our volunteer force are the ones that staff our water tenders. With the 4 tenders that we have, we can mobilize 10,000 gallons on wheels within just 10 minutes. So again, we're pretty proud of that.
And WSRB?
Thank you, Jeannie. The Washington State Rating Bureau, which is the one, it's a scale of 1 through 10. 1 is the best, 10 is the worst, and we are a 5. And we want our rate or our score to be lower because that improves your homeowner's insurance rates. Yeah, thanks, Jeannie. We also are just about to start our newsletter. We've never done a newsletter before. We're going to have a quarterly newsletter. You can hit the sign up button on our website as well, ejfr.org. And we have quite a waiting list, but we were supposed to have it by July 1, but got a little behind, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll be birthing that as well. Monday, June 30th, marked the end of the formal program period with DNR for our Wildfire Ready Neighbors program. We are not stopping them. Under that program, we received an exemplary amount of support from DNR, over $30,000 to do home wildfire inspections and train our people to do home wildfire inspections. We did over 150 inspections district-wide. We still have a large waiting list, and we're adding to it. Anybody that wants to sign up, the portal on DNR's website is still valid. It'll still come to us, but we're going to be a little slower to respond just because we're not able to put as many people towards it for the staff. If you haven't heard, fire danger is high, so no fireworks, please, or outside burning. You are allowed, with an asterisk, you are allowed to use a barbecue in your backyard with charcoal. But we don't want you doing any of that on a beach or in a park or any of that, just to be safe. And I'll be talking about why it's so important here in a second. Any questions so far?
What's the portal for the home inspection?
For DNR, if you just Google DNR or Department of Natural Resources Washington, it'll take you right to their front page, and you'll see the link for the home wildfire inspections.
And that will take,
And
that information
Yeah.
goes to you.
And they're behind the curtain, they send it to us when you type in your address. Yeah. Good question. Okay, nationally, I'm going to start nationally, talk regionally, and then locally for the wildfire situation report. Nationally, yesterday, 260 wildfires were dispatched, resulting in 9 new major fires. 260. There are 31 wildfires currently in the United States that are uncontained. According to the National Interagency Fire Center, so far this year we've had almost 35,000 wildfires, which is well above the 10-year average of 27,000 wildfires year to date. As I speak, 6,900 wildfire fighters and support personnel are assigned to incidents across the country. We have 1 incident management team and 91 personnel that are supporting our partners in Canada. Regionally, our area is called a Geographic Area Coordination Center. There's 10 of those in the United States. Ours is the Northwest Region GAC, Geographic Area Coordination Center. In the past 48 hours, at least 4,000 lightning strikes were recorded in Oregon and southeast Washington. Washington and Oregon is the Northwest Region GAC, so those 2 states together had 44 new wildfires yesterday, and we're now managing 6 major fires. In comparison, California is only managing 4. Yesterday afternoon, I received several mutual aid requests for EJFR personnel to help with the Siegel Fire near Spokane and the Apple Acres Fire near Lake Chelan. We declined the request due to our local wildfire threat. We want to keep our wildfire fighters here because we're so remote. Looking onto the wildfire forecast, over the next week, we're going to see a warming trend start Monday in the upper 70s, and that's going to persist for approximately the next 10 days, basically no end in sight, which is one of the reasons that we asked the county commissioners to support us in our recommendation to elevate to the high wildfire risk level. So I appreciate the commissioners supporting that. Eastern Washington has lightning predicted without precipitation for most of the week, next week, east of the Cascades as well. That means my phone's going to be ringing off the hook to go help them, but we're going to hold our resources here for the threat that we experience. For the next week, the fuels will begin to respond to another round. Fuels is a term, I'll back up a second. Fuels is a term that firefighters use for anything that will burn. So the fuel in this room is, the finishings, the wood, the structure. The fuels outside are the brush, the grass, the trees, the vegetation. So the fuels for the next week, the wildfire fuels, are going to respond to another round of hot and dry conditions with some east of the Cascades ERCs, and that's energy release components, rising above the 95th percentile. That means they're as dry can be, and meaning we have a receptive fuel bed for any spark. So I reiterate my request earlier, please help us with keeping our community safe and following the wildfire risk that we've set at high. And if you see someone not being safe, call it in. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
That's great, thank you, Chief Black. Any comments, concerns from our audience?
Yes, sir.
Like, how long does that last? The wildfire elevation, is that now through the whole summer? Is that a seasonal thing as well?
That's a very good question. For those of you who didn't hear, the question is how long are we going to stay at high? And the fire chiefs will meet as needed, but at least monthly throughout the year, but for the foreseeable future, if we need to change it. Usually we go higher this time of year. We don't see anything degrading until late October. So the same threat that we are experiencing now, we're going to experience through August and September.
And degrading, you mean
Lowering
our risk of fires?
Yes. If anything, we're likely to go higher, but it just depends on the temperature, a lot of industry technological terms that are, kind of unique that I won't bore you with. So, yeah, we look really closely at the fire chiefs in Jefferson County, or the 4 fire chiefs of the 4 fire districts. So that's myself, Discovery Bay, Brennan, Pilsing, and then the county fire marshal. We meet every month at least, sometimes multiple times a month, as weather conditions, the risk factors change. And then collectively, we validate each other's observations. It's a open public meeting, talk about what we see, what we can do, what we cannot do, and then decide to make a recommendation to the board. Any other questions?
I've got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. Monopolizing with questions. Who is our fire marshal? How, I cannot find that anywhere. Who is our fire marshal?
So in Washington, if there is not a county fire department, the fire marshal function falls to the DCE's office, the Department of Community Development, and the county has designated Phil Sear as our fire marshal. And Commissioner, feel free to correct me if I say something wrong. So the fire marshal is not part of East Jefferson or any of the other fire districts. We all collaborate together, but that person, Phil Sear, is also works under the DCE's office in the county.
The DCE again, I'm
The
sorry.
Department of Community Development.
Okay.
And they do, in addition to wildfire, they do a lot of code compliance. Again, we collaborate with them on a regular basis, enforcing the fire code, the building code. That they have the authority. I don't have, the fire districts do not have the authority to enforce code. If we were a county fire department, then there's a different structure that would exist, but that doesn't exist here. Did I get that right? I think so. Yeah. All right, that's all I got. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a safe morning.
Next on our agenda is James Hahn, who sends his regrets. One of his children had a broken arm, and the physician's office called and moved up to the stage of having the cast removed right now. So as we're meeting, one of his children is getting freed from encumbrances that would otherwise impact his summer. So we'll move on to Greg Brotherton.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be with you. It's a beautiful day. It feels like summer is here. I'm Greg Brotherton, County Commissioner, and I saw many of you, well, not as many as today, at the County Connections County Outreach meeting that we had here last week, and we're going to have several more throughout the summer and into the fall, going out to all the neighborhoods, which we do every 2 years when there's not too many folks that are up for election, so we can speak unburdened by those complications. I'll start with kind of backing up what Chief Black said and just give you a little bit more context to the high fire setting and the code that established this process, basically. So with little code about fireworks and other stuff, we created the Office of the Fire Marshal about 3 years ago, and we've been building it up since then. We have 2.5 FTEs in now. Fire Marshal, and we're actually starting some, so far, quite unpopular commercial fire inspections as well, because we have to, make sure that our commercial structures are safe. But the code that we established that set up whether the high fire setting references just that sort of group of fire chiefs making the decisions. And just one thing to add to what Chief Black said is that we've set it up so we can, if there's different situations and environments in different fire districts, we can get more granular, but we have always had a consensus as to when the fuel state and the conditions have warranted a high fire danger. So far, the 2 times that this has been enacted, it has been throughout the county. I am pushing, we're going to have another meeting with our fire marshal and kind of exploring those considerations, as well as maybe talking about a complete fireworks ban in the county later in the summer with the fire chiefs and our fire marshal, and talk also about this commercial fire program as well. So I'll bring a date back to that next time. But as Chief Black said, no fireworks. There are no commercial fireworks shows going on. It's not legal to have fireworks or transport them through Jefferson County. If someone is shooting fireworks, enforcement is challenging. There's some big spots that we're trying to deal with. Irondale Log Dump and Gardner Boat Launch often have a real high incidence of folks from out of town. You might have seen some of the reader board that we didn't get up, we didn't get the permits to wash trucks, put them on the freeways, but trying to let people know and communicate as clearly as possible before they get started, because there's more firemen on duty than there are sheriff's deputies at any time of the day, and sending one deputy down to deal with 100 people setting off fireworks is, it's tough when our tickets are pretty onerous, actually. If you get an infraction for a fireworks violation, it's $1,000. So I think there's some, I don't know, the stick might be too big and difficult to apply right now. So I'm really interested in opening up that code again. Any change you make to fireworks code due to the fireworks lobby, I would assume, takes place a year after you implement it. So if we did implement something on July 7th, it would take place after on July 7th, 2026. So you can't make a quick change on those, unless you make them lesser certain, and then those can go later. If you do encounter fireworks, or your neighbors shoot off fireworks, JEFCON 911 is the organization to call, but they don't call the emergency line. You call the non-emergency line, which is open 24 hours a day. It's 360-344-9779. 360-344-9779. If you do have some fireworks going off, you might remind your neighbors first, hey, too dry to be doing this, and then if they are, I don't know. But then call the non-emergency line to escalate that issue. Diana Smealand and myself and several other folks, Diana couldn't be at the last thing, but we've been working through an RFP process for a grant that the Olympic Peninsula Tourism Commission got to put in some signage at the roundabout, the bridge, which is, like the Death Star in Star Wars, fully functional now. It's not quite figured out. I got to say, I'm really excited about it. We're still kind of negotiating with the RFP, the preferred applicant. There were 3 finalists that we evaluated right down at the resort of Port Ludlow last week, and all 3 were really professional and wrote scale models of their things. It was like, I don't know, a reality TV show or something. But it was great. All of them were great, and the one that we're hoping for, assuming the negotiations go well, is a little bit of art as well. I think it really will kind of, it'll frame the Olympic Peninsula as people come on. So the next step is also to create sort of a template that can be used in other areas of the Olympic Peninsula. So we have sort of unique but complete kind of wayfinding of the Olympic Peninsula, and just letting people know, hey, you're in a place that is unique. So I should be able to bring back, and there's going to be some public outreach in later July to get people's input. I mean, it's really, it's kind of a speak now or forever hold your peace kind of input. It's really the input we're looking for at that point. I wanted to tell you a little bit about something I don't normally talk about, which is further South County. There's lots of big projects going on right now. As a tangent, we're one of the few counties whose sales tax is not going down, largely because we have a lot of large construction projects going on, whether it's the roundabout or the other roundabout that was finished. This one, Jamestown's Blown Tribe and the Canal Salmon Enhancement Group got a couple grants, a raised grant. I think they total about $43 million. I've talked about before how much more money than is going into the Port Hadlock sewer to create a new 1,000-foot bridge down in Quilcene and kind of unlock the Quilcene floodplain at the Big Quilcene River, which is soon, if everything goes right, the summer chum are doing really well there, and there is efforts to get those summer chum delisted on the state endangered species. And I got an opportunity to go down there. They're right in construction right now. We've been dealing with them a lot. It'll be the county's bridge once they're done. And just to share kind of the scale of it, there are 12 piers that they're building that are 2 columns. When I was there, they had just finished digging the 24th hole, which was a 50-foot hole that they put in 6 feet in diameter of concrete to build the foundations for each of these. And then they've got a big framework of rebar that goes on top of that, and there's rebar throughout it, of course, as well. And then the columns go on it, and bridge is kind of cantilevered, so there's these columns going down the middle that collectively make 12 piers and 24 columns, and it's pretty astounding to see them. They were digging when I was there, and they found, I don't know if you've heard about Tumanous Rock, the big piece of granite, you know, that floated down from Canada on the ice floes, but they found another one of those pieces of granite about 40 feet down. It just ripped this, did about $100,000 worth of damage to this giant drill. But they just welded it right on the site, and we're right through it. It's quite a feat of public works seeing these big projects move forward. And I encourage you, when I was down there, they were navigating everything well and really being harmonious with the residents. And this was during Shrimp Day, which is pretty crazy down on Linger Longer Road. So the fact that they could, all the boats could exit through the temporary bridge while this massive work was going on was really impressive. It's going to do great things for the floodplains down in Quilcene, and completes about a 6-mile beach of work that the Hudson Canal Salmon Enhancement Group has been working on for decades. And many of the properties to make this possible, the county has purchased with RCO grants as well, and trying to convey those to Jamestown Squam Tribe, just to keep it all packaged nicely and still open to the public. But I encourage folks to go down there. And then finally, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I know you're interested in glass recycling, and glass recycling is coming back online on July 15th. So not in Port Ludlow, but at the Jacob Miller transfer station and the Quilcene drop-off place there will be glass recycling once more on July 15th. So I guess the new, I don't know, I don't have the skinny on it, but I think the new facility came back online. So that's what I had to share, unless there's any questions I can help.
One, will that be the only facility for glass recycling in Jefferson County?
There's two, Quilcene and the Jacob Miller. Correct.
Jacob Miller is.
The transfer station. The dump. It's not a dump, but the transfer station.
And then the second, I don't want to take away Jeff's, because he's the one who asked you on the median, last board meeting.
Yeah.
Within a week, he contracted a crew, and we have the nicest looking median we've got.
I appreciate that. It looks great. I heard about that at the county meeting, and I can't take credit for it. They just continue to work through it. Public Works, you know, it's a slog, the work that they do, and it's a struggle to find contractors. So.
And then my third one, so because Dan here reminded me that not enough folks showed up to meet our commissioners and
all the other folks, yeah.
here. I apologize, I didn't show up over time. But the one on the 24th is I wanted to announce it.
Okay.
That we can meet next. It's July 24th, Jefferson.
We'll try it.
At the Port Havelock Public Library. Is that correct? Wait, here, Dan.
Can you use the mic, Howard?
He was just saying how great the county's doing. No, he was talking about trying to amplify the next county outreach meeting, which is happening on July 24th at the Jefferson County Library. That's correct. Yes. And he was complimenting Public Works on the median, the cleaning of the median, which all credit to Public Works and their continued work to get it contracted. It's going to do that on the regular, so that won't get deferred again. Anything else out?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Greg, what time, the library?
6 p.m.
5.
5 p.m.
That was fun.
Most of them were at 6 p.m. Not 5.
We're going for 7.
Yeah.
I was just, I'm Dan Darrow. I just make a comment that the community forum you had here was very informative and a chance to learn about all the resources available. But it was embarrassing to me, the number of people from Port Ludlow, from PLPC, SPCA, and LMC. You know, 6 people, Jeff Lang was here, one other person from PLPC. The community should, I don't know how to get the communication out.
Well, there was a good interplay. I think that you would call that out at the meeting too. And someone else said, well, you're not doing anything wrong. I guess, new news is good news. So there's maybe an element of that. There's not a big problem that people are concerned about right now. But I think we could do a lot better job to amplify exactly what it was. I saw the note that we had, that PLBC had put out for us, and it talked about just the county commissioners. It didn't really talk about the everything that was going to be happening, and everyone that was going to be there. there. I mean, I'm sure if everyone knew that their elected clerk was going to be here, we would have filled the house. But we need to do a better job of amplifying what's going on. But please do come out July 24th to the library at 5 p.m.
I'd like to urge that people from SPCA and LMC also get some representatives there.
Thank you, Dan. It's great to have you.
You know, so that July 24th, 5 o'clock at the library.
That's the next one. Yep, we'll be down.
In
We'll see you
Port
there.
Hagelin.
Yep.
In Port Hagelin.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yes, Jeff.
So, I got a couple of things. I agree, when I got here to the community conversation, I had no idea every department head would be here. And so it was shocking to me how many county employees were here, how many departments were represented, and we definitely need to get that message out better.
Use your microphone way there.
I'm trying, oh, I didn't,
Right.
here we go.
Yeah, good
Is
job.
that better?
That's better.
The only other thing I have is a question that came in through our online anonymous suggestion box. I'm just gonna read it as it's written. It's not as bad as that makes it seem. Why can't they mow the grass on the side of the roads a couple of times a year like they did a few years ago? Not just the main roads like Walker, but the side roads, Machias Loop Road as well. It seems like we're paying more in property tax and getting less service. So I assume that when they're asking about like Machias Loop Road, which is a residential road, they're talking about areas where people's landscape doesn't come to the edge of the road, so maybe where there's a drainage ditch, and does the county normally maintain drainage ditches? Is it the
Well, we have a
homeowners?
former drainage commissioner in the audience today, but, you know, there aren't, the county doesn't own any drainage ditches. They do clear the right of way. They're overtaxed with work, right? It's a small road crew, so they prioritize visibility and safety and major intersections. And when they get to, a smaller area, it's the bonus is what I would say. So if there's an area that's untended, I would encourage you to reach out. They have a comment, I can't remember the exact link, but if you look up Public Works, road crew, you'll be able to find a place that you can request service on a particular road, and they're usually pretty responsive.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes.
Another compliment, when they came through and cleaned the streets with the big street sweepers, they actually did a bunch of streets they had not done before. So our street on Fern Ridge was actually completely clean, and the lady running the street sweeper went like 3 times up and down to make sure it was clean. So that was an awesome job.
That's good, yeah, I'll credit to them, so thank you, we'll pass it on. All right, well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, Greg, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Diana?
I agree with the summer part, it's definitely nice. And I missed the commissioners meeting, because my daughter had a little baby, Coulter, 6 weeks early. So, I was over in the hospital. But otherwise, I would have loved to have been there. So lots of things going on. Summer is busy, and it's great to see. At the end, probably the biggest thing is we're doing a community open house on July 16th. And we'll be putting more signs and stuff out about that. We've had a couple of people come in and say, well, we didn't know that we could come in and do this or do that. And they're like, well, really? So, it's an amenity for the community as well as an amenity for our guests that are coming. So we just want to show, lots of fun things to see, lights and sips, room tours, space tours, those kinds of things. I think they're going to show you some of the mocktails as well as maybe a cocktail. We have a new happy hour menu that goes every day from 2 to 5. And it has lighter bites and it has a little more substantial bites. I think there's I'm going to go try it. It's some kind of a smash burger or something like that. Anyways, that sounded good. We have set the date for the totem pole refresh. So August 4th through August 8th, David Boxley will actually be here. And he is the original carver of the totem pole. He has some totem poles in the Smithsonian, works with them. A very nice gentleman. And he will be here through that time, and then on that Sunday, we're going to have a celebration to recognize the refresh, and he's bringing dancers, and so it should be a cool little event. And then we'll have salmon potlatch type dinner that they're going to be selling there. And it should be something simple so people can mill in and out to the totem pole and back. Fireside Restaurant has tasting flights next Tuesday, always the second Tuesday of the month, $10. So 4 tastings, and a lot of times it's bringing in either the winemaker or the distributor. This upcoming one is Ann Sackett, which a lot of you may know. She used to be our som at the end, and she's now working with the distributors, is a distributor, and working with the winemakers and everything. So they will be here, should be really fun. Farm suppers are back. We're getting a lot of produce from the farms. I don't know, I always tell the story, so you probably have heard it. When Chef Dan first came like 15 years ago, he sat down with 25 farms and he invited all the restaurants to come, and basically Dan met with 25 farms. And he said, hey, I want to support you, you know, how can we work together because we don't have enough covers if you all grow Brussels sprouts. So they worked together to grow different products and to do, and then once they started setting up to grow different items, they all 25 are driving to us. Well, labor is our most expensive thing, right? So Dan sat down with them and said, hey, how about we do a distribution system? So the driver here will pick up from the closest 5, that one will drive to us, so on and so forth. And so they refined that over the years. He's remained really good friends. Dan moved into our general manager position, still the executive chef. And so he has produce, we changed the menu, and they do a special dinner on Sundays. So it's a lot of fun. It's a 3-course meal, and it's $39, which is pretty reasonable today. And then at the golf course, we're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. And we have a golf course tournament, 50th anniversary tournament. It's on August 7th and 8th. So that's occurring if you like to golf. There's all kind of little fun things going on. So you don't have to be a pro or an expert. I'm a hacker, so it'll be great. The marina is starting their crab contest. Actually, it started a couple days ago. It's open as long as crabbing is open. So it's kind of fun because they bring in live crabs and then they measure them in the store. So that's a great thing. Salish 100 is here again. I think it's like 3rd or 4th year. Small boats, I think they're supposed to be, small boats go 100 miles. And so they all come into the marina, stay overnight, either on their boat or in the area, and then they will continue on to Port Townsend, which is the end of the event. We're also doing some fun things. I see some stitching going on over here. We're doing a stitch and sip starting at the end. We're doing cork and canvas. The Portland Globe Arts is every Saturday at the Village Center. The Arts League has crafts and art set up there, so please support them. July 5th at the Village Center is a free concert, and maybe you're going to talk about that because I know the Portland Village Council is partnering with John L. Scott, and they're going to have a really fun event, it sounds like. And if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, sign up for our newsletter because this would all be old news. You got a week to go. But it's a good way to stay on top of things, and we don't only introduce ours, we talk about Maristone is having music on Fridays and Saturdays. We talk about at the Wooden Boat School, the first Friday of the month, you can go tour it and just go and see what they're doing. It's amazing, and with the patterns on the floor and how they build the boats, I mean, it's like, I was very impressed. So there's a lot going on in our area, and we try to get that out to residents as well as guests that are visiting or have been visiting us for many years. So sign up if you want to be more in the know. Questions?
Any update on the marina changes?
Our first set of docks on the marina replacement for CDOC East is 80% complete. I believe I've heard a mid-September date for installation. And Corey is spending a lot of time right now working with existing boaters, really, I think on all of CDOC. That's the main access to the marina, but it also made sense to start there because of shoreline power and everything else. So it's gonna be a lot of moving pieces to get people, the existing boats moved, and then also there's no power for a couple of days, and then we have to build a temporary bridge. In a sense, it's a dock, temporary dock, so that you can get to the rest of the marina right now. So it's happening though, mid-September, 80% done on those dock buildings. I haven't seen them yet, but they'll float them in. We have to make sure that we work with the Quamish tribe if that's in their fishing grounds. So we told them that we would work with them, make sure that we're not coming along when they have their nets out, and things like that. Yeah, really excited. Do you have a question?
Yeah, community open house in July, what's the date?
July 16th.
Thank you.
Yep, and we'll be getting more out, and that's also on our website.
I have one question, ma'am. We had a question come in through the emergency committee about water availability during a extended power outage. So do the wells have backup power, emergency power for that? And in the event of a massive earthquake, it's safe to assume some of our water distribution lines will be disrupted. And so somebody was wondering if there is the capability or the ability with emergency power to actually go to the wells and take refillable water. If we're like, we have no water mains left, is that gonna be an option for folks?
Not sure on the later. On the first part, yes. As long as our wells are not damaged, we have generators on every single one of them. We test the generators weekly. We also have a mobile generator that we can also take in and do that. As long as the generators aren't damaged, we definitely could pull water from them because they can pump. We could set that up and figure that out. We haven't done a test of that to see if we could do it, but yeah, it would all just depend on is what's in the ground still able to pump and not destroy everything.
Thank you.
Yes. And that's a good question. I'll even follow up with Jason on that.
Thank you.
And maybe the utilities might be a good thing to put that way.
Our emergency committee would also be interested.
Microphone, please. What did you say?
I was just suggesting that in addition to utilities, which is interested in the water aspect of it, that our emergency committee also be involved so that they can get that information out to the community through their channels and begin to think about the logistics of getting water from those facilities.
Did you have a question?
No, I just couldn't hear what she said.
Yeah, great. I know I have the same problem.
One more thing, I just want to thank Algae for running the pumps to the pond as often as they can, because that keeps the algae down. And then our Wednesday afternoon sailing a little boat thing happens.
I know, they try to turn them off when it's very, very low.
Right,
And
I
then
know,
try to
talk
get
about it.
Yeah, and try to get them back on, but if you see it and, just give us a reminder, sometimes I know we can be, oh yeah, get back out there. So, but I do like to keep that down in the pond, so that's good, thank you.
And was there an overall update on the pigging?
So the ice picking is complete. We actually needed 5 extra loads of ice. They also had a delay of 5 days because their machine broke down. So those are totally separate, but we were working under 5 additional days of ice, which was $70,000 extra with sales tax and all that fun stuff. So I'm looking at those numbers, see where they came, but really felt that we did a good cleanse of the system. They were very happy with what was coming out. They felt that, you know, everything was working as it should. I heard of one person who did say they still had some brown water, ended up being inside the house, apparently in their water tank. I don't know the story behind it. I just know that at the water meter, it was clear. And I've heard of one other, but I haven't heard yet the outcome of that. I'm worried about.
Quality now is good? The quality now is good?
We haven't heard anything, so we're
That's good.
kind of assuming, you know, otherwise I'm sure that we would get a phone call and say we've got some color. And we will continue our normal process of flushing once a year throughout the whole community. So there could be some during that, but of course we'll communicate that and put that out. The other thing with Dowsey going on right now is if you have a backflow device or a cross-connection device, we did send out surveys on the yellow paper. We are required by UTC to get 100% back, so we're going to be working on it. Let's get the rest. We only got about 400 of those. But we have a list of about 600 people that do have to do backflow testing once a year. It's due by July 1st. I think we have quite a few who have not sent us their testing. We've sent out postcards to them. So if you haven't received a postcard, you're good. Other than if you didn't return the yellow survey, I'll be contacting you. But we're going to call everyone because by utility standards, we're supposed to shut you off if you don't provide that test. And that's a UTC standard. So we call everybody, see where they're at, what they're doing. We did have one gentleman retire. We did not do the backflow testing. We provide a list of 3 to 4. We now have, I think we have 3 still. One gentleman did retire. And that messed up a bunch of people because they thought he was going to automatically do it. But he did not automatically do it. So we're working through that process too. So if you're aware of it, hopefully your testing is in and done, and you don't have to think about it.
So
Microphone.
you guys would come
Microphone.
and look at our systems. You would be able to come and look at the house and see if we need a system, and then give us a recommendation about who we might call to spend money
Absolutely.
we don't have to fix it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the yellow survey was trying to do. Do you have an irrigation system? You need backflow device. Do you have a spa, jacuzzi? You need a backflow device. So those kinds of things, and that was in that survey. But absolutely, just contact Housy's email address, and they would be happy to come out and say, you know, work with you.
It was on my list.
So a backflow preventer is required for any non-air gapped device that you have. So irrigation that could be contaminated by E. coli or Listeria or anything on the ground. For a jacuzzi or a boiler or radiant floor heating or anything like that. In the event that you have a community water source, which you do, unless you have an individual well, then you would be exempted from that. But any community water source, it would be required so that you aren't contaminating the source. So what happens is, let's say your neighbor's house is on fire, fire department comes, they hook up their engines to the nearest hydrant, they suck the water out of the plumbing, they'll suck it right out of your house. And if your irrigation is contaminated, which it is, I mean, you know, raccoons, whatever, squirrels, you will have E. coli and Listeria contaminated tubing, plumbing, and that contamination will get sucked back into the source. So the fire department puts the fire out, and then the neighbor goes to get a drink of water, and you have now sucked the contamination back into the plumbing, and you will make somebody ill. And so the backflow preventer is designed to stop that from happening.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I understand that. The issue is, I am not a plumber, and knowing how my plumbing system works with regards to backflow things, it's a black box. So I'm going to be seeking help. The paper's on my desk, but I've been out of town. So
Thank you
we'll
for
follow
that.
up. But I think there is an information gap for some families that aren't familiar with how to check their house in the first place. And so it's useful that LG has experts that can come out and actually walk through and inform the residents about what's happening.
It's not at all uncommon that you would have one and not know where to look for it.
Absolutely. One more quick clarification, Dan. When you talk about a hot tub, you're not talking about a freestanding hot tub that you fill with your hose.
Not in your
You're talking
house.
about
I'm
one
talking
that's,
about on the,
but it's gotta be
outside.
plumbed, right? Not one that you just take your garden hose and fill.
Right, right, yes.
But it's gotta
Yeah,
actually
yeah, it has
be
to
like an
part of it.
autofill.
Yes, yeah.
So I have backflow preventers on all my external spigots, but I just have a garden hose on there, so I don't need the testing, because it's just a garden hose?
No, those are not,
Those aren't backflow protectors.
no, they're not something, what you need by law up to code is what's called a double check valve, and it has test ports on it, and that's what the technician comes and tests. It's not a, so there are two terms, there's a backflow preventer and a double check valve. The backflow preventer is something any homeowner can get at a hardware store, and it is not up to snuff. You can use it, it's better than nothing, don't rely on it. If you don't want to be sued for medical damages, do the real thing.
Thank you.
I work with these.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I just want to completely separately say to please compliment Robert in customer service. I have had a couple of conversations with him, and he should be getting paid really well. I hope. He's amazing. So please pass that on.
Thank you, that's very kind. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
I forgot one thing, can I come back up? Can I take Jameson's time? Sorry.
He just wants to clap again, right?
Yeah. Two applause, that's how you clap. I'm sorry, I forgot my one call to action, which was that, recently with the heat going on and everything, we had a presentation from our public health department that helps different communities set up cooling and clean air facilities. And we've got the Jefferson County Public Library, the closest one here, the Wilson Community Center as well. And we'd love to have one in Fort Ludlow, but there's not a completely publicly available space. So I'm just passing on a question to both HOAs. I know the Beach Club has talked about maybe being a Red Cross hub or something, we're looking for money to, and would become publicly available. But if either Beach Club and the Bay Club would like to be a public cooling and clean air facility, public health has air cleaners and some, supplies and everything to make that possible. But under the grants that they got funded with, it has to be publicly available. So just a call to action that doesn't, it's not a histrionic call, but if either organization wants to fill that need in the community, please reach out to me and I'll connect you guys with public health. So, sorry.
That's great. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
It doesn't get hot here.
Okay.
We got a bag.
Moving on to our homeowner association updates. We'll start with LMC. Joe?
Thank you. Our ice cream social on Saturday the 28th was well attended. Music on the Lawn is coming up on July 17th, 5 to 7. The barbecue for our members is Saturday, August 9. Breakfast with Santa is December 13th. And the Polar Plunge, you can get your name in now, is Saturday, 12/27 at 11 a.m. in the outdoor pool, which will not be heated at that time. Other than that, lots of meetings, lots of clubs, lots of activities. All of the facilities seem to be working well, so things are good with LMC. We continue our search for a general manager. We've conducted some interviews. We have yet to find the right fit. We are currently trying to employ an organization to do a search for us.
The music on the lawn is publicly accessible, or is that for your members?
Nope.
It's publicly accessible.
You gotta sit on the line.
Yeah.
Yes.
No trespassing.
All right, thanks, Jim. Carolyn?
Okay, I'm Carolyn O'Keefe, President of SBCA. A few announcements for us. We have pancake breakfast tomorrow, so please join us. 8:30, it's the Bayside Housing and Service that we're providing. We're cooking the breakfast and they'll get part of the donation. And we have a board meeting that's coming up next week, and our annual homeowners meeting is on July 16th at 1 p.m., so we're getting ready for that. A few activity updates is we have started, or are soon to start, ballroom dance class for our members, and we have a Parkinson exercise class through Jefferson County Health that we hope to start in August. And then a building update, we have in our village Olympic Terrace 2, Richmond American Homes has been very busy, and we've got 2 developments. One we call the upper development off of Mount, I never know if it's a mount or it's just McCartney Peak Lane, and almost all the lots have some sort of start on them of a home. There's only 2 lots left that haven't had a dig yet. They hope to have the model home open in August. They've already moved the trailer down to the lower development on Wilder Way. So they are really at it, trying to get the homes ready to sell soon. And then any other updates? No, I think that's it. So we're just doing our normal kind of summer stuff. Thanks.
Thank you, Carolyn. Move to board business in just a moment. I'm going to rearrange the room. Maybe. Just so we can all see one another. Great. All right. Let's start with approval of the June 2025 Carmel Village Council minutes. Do you hear a motion to approve? Any changes?
Yes, I have a quick change. That's, I misrepresented the hours and trails at the last meeting.
Do you need the microphone?
Microphone.
Do you need some microphone?
Yeah. I need to change what I reported last month on trails. It was actually 875 hours. And then the amount of monies that they equate that with is at $30 an hour. But that, I want to amend because it's in the minutes incorrectly. It's $2,000.
So Howard has a motion to amend the minutes?
So, yes, I have a motion to amend the minutes with my correction of my report on trails.
Great. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Great. Minutes are approved as amended. We don't have our treasurer here today. John is out. Are you prepared to give a treasurer's report or just a finance update?
Just two comments. One.
Microphone.
Excuse me. I'm not used to all this shuffling around. Okay, yes, John should be here to do this report, but he asked me to report that as of July 1st, we have $14,225.80 in the bank. And then the other thing we talked about, because it's finance and fundraising, was a conversation on the election cost options. And one option was what Jeff has been working on, and the other is the election buddy? Is that correct?
Yes.
That we used last year. And so that was the conversation in that. So that's my report.
Thanks, Howard. So just a couple of things to expand on that, just very, very briefly from a finance perspective. We have incurred $9,440 year-to-date in our expenses. $7,710 of that is really essentially non-discretionary spending. So $1,000 that goes from PLBC directly to trails. $1,043 is one of our higher ticket items for print expenses, which I believe is tied to last year's election. Storage expenses of $1,020. Our insurance costs of $3,446, and the village, or the voice support, $200 a month for the first 6 months was another $1,200. So $7,710 out of that $9,440 is we treat as non-discretionary. So we're working on thin budgets to continue doing the work of the village council. So just want to call attention to that. The good news is that we are well prepared for our fourth quarter financial effort, and we're feeling like we will be very likely to finish 2025 in a very good state financially. I'm assuming that we get the kind of support that we received last year, and that's generally good news for us in the context of where we have been in some years in the past and where we are this year. So just passing that on. Yes, may I have a motion to approve the finance reports as submitted? Right?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. All right. We'll move to village council committee reports. Finance, I think we've already covered sufficiently. Emergency, I'll just cover, or just mention two things from an emergency perspective. We had a table and a booth at the community resilience fair at Finn River on Saturday, well attended. Jason and Bob were at the booth pretty much all day, and I think, as Chief Black has already alluded to, really great attendance. I was there for part of it, and heard Robert Whitberg's presentation on fire preparedness in our homes, etc. So they were at that meeting. The bigger news is that a draft document of the kind of emergency plan, emergency preparation plan for Port Ludlow has been created by the emergency report, or by the emergency committee. It's a significant document, 46 plus pages, I think, in fine print. We had hoped originally that we might be discussing that at this meeting. There will be a discussion and a presentation from the emergency committee regarding that document at our next workshop. And so we will hopefully be discussing that at the July workshop. There was some question when I spoke with them on Saturday. They may or may not be ready for the July workshop. At the very latest, we will discuss it in the August workshop, and it'll come back to the board for approval in September for maybe kind of a formal component of the village council planning process for emergencies. There is a lot going on with our communications team. Let's start with our imminent event.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lois Grazioli, and I'm part of our social wellness subcommittee of the PLBC. And Saturday, we teamed up with James Scott Realty. They're putting on a concert, free concert with the Granny Candies. And they play like old-time rock and roll and Ronstead and things that we can relate to at our age. So we invite you all to come out. Our portion is a raffle, and I'm passing around a draft of the donor list as well as the rules. But the community really came out to support us. Howard and I have been talking to establishments, so we have a variety of gift items that almost, I think, exceed close to $1,500. Barry is going to MC because he has a background as a rodeo guy. So he has the voice, I'll be his helper. Tickets are 2 for $5, they're $2.50 each, and all of that will be posted on our website. But I just wanted to share with you how pleased we are. Our local food establishments, Bruce Goose, for example, gave us $75, which was pretty impressive. So even outside of Port Ludlow, our larger community is supporting our event. So please come out and please talk it up to your neighbors and your affiliates. So I appreciate all your support. The Granny Panties have 2 45-minute sets, and Barry's going to be doing our raffle in between. Hopefully we'll sell lots of tickets. If we don't sell enough tickets, we will table some of the gift items. To be honest with you, we didn't expect 30 items. We just got so much support, it was amazing. So we will do a second round at another event if we don't sell enough tickets. But we're excited, we're hoping that we get a great turnout. We've been putting flyers everywhere and talking it up, so thank you so much. This Saturday,
July 5th.
July 5th. Oh, 4 o'clock, they suggest that you come 4:30 to find your space. It's going to be in the Village Square. The band starts at 5, and then we'll do the raffle in between and afterwards, so 45, 90-minute set total music. And then they'll be selling, they'll have a beer garden, margaritas, and then of course, El Bocajete and that pizza place, that Oreos. They will all participate in offering food items for sale, so please come with some cash.
Oh, Lois,
Thank you.
you might mention the raffle ticket costs.
Yes.
Or prices.
They're
She did.
2 for $5, so they're $2.50 each, but we're selling them
Use
by
them
pairs.
as a-
2 for $5, 4 for $10, 6 for $15, and 8 for $20. And the proceeds go to support the goals of the village council, which are really the goals to serve our community and outreach. Yes.
I was disappointed to see you have to be present to win.
Yes.
Because we're having an event in our neighborhood and we all wanted to buy tickets, but, so, I guess, is it manpower? Do you want to make calls for people?
I think it, yeah, and this kind of came later because the person that was handling it left the council, so I kind of took it over. Is that something we want to discuss further?
I think we're too far down.
Yeah, we're too far down
Infringing
the
of
road.
the rules.
I'll just run back and forth.
Sorry, please do. Please do.
I'm close.
You can buy your tickets in advance, just talk to Lois.
Yeah, just give somebody my tickets, right? Lois?
Uh-oh, now we're getting
Carol, I'll take care of your tickets for you.
Oh, good. Okay,
Great.
that's fair.
Almost all.
Great. Thank you. But yeah, take a look at the list, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's services, it's food, yes.
Could you give me the time again? We're gonna be at Fiddlesoo's earlier in the afternoon.
4:30 to get a place. The band starts at 5.
Band starts at 5.
Band starts at 5. We're going to be doing the first raffle
So the band will be great.
after 45 minutes. So whatever that, 5:45. And then at the end. So, and we've got some nice prizes, so we want everybody to stay to the end. It's nice and light out here in Washington. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Thank you, Lois. Appreciate all your effort on this, and certainly.
Yeah, it was kind of fun trying to beg for the donation when we had to explain the Granny Panties. It's a kind of a funny name and it gets a little embarrassing, but it's cute. It's like, what? But they're pretty good, I hear, so. And James Scott has paid for the band and, sponsored the event. And they just kind of invited us to participate, which I think is fabulous because it's an opportunity for us to support our council. Thank you. Thank you for being here too.
Thanks again, Lois. I had a note to discuss briefly from a communications perspective, voice articles. Did you want to elaborate on that? She doesn't, all right. So we had a brief cessation of articles coming into the Voice, specifically for the Village Council. There will be at least a series of 3 that'll be forthcoming. One that will be published on the August 1st edition, the September 1st, and the October, and I'm guessing probably monthly beyond that, but we'll be back on track for monthly articles again. Jeff, do you want to elaborate anything else? How many of you here out in the audience have looked at our website lately? Yeah, good. I just have to, every time I look at it, I just have to express my appreciation for the folks that created. It's really such a dramatic improvement over what we inherited a year ago, and a lot of effort has gone into it. It's informative, it's consistent. It's just such a huge improvement, and so thanks to everybody on the communications committee that has been involved in that effort.
Can I add, if there are things you want to see, either on the website or in the bi-weekly e-blast that we're putting out, send them to info@portlandvillagecouncil.org and or communications@portlandvillagecouncil.org, and we'll get them in there. Anything newsworthy that needs to go on the top of the webpage, anything. We just updated yesterday with the temporary bridge closure coming up on the 15th. But, you know, anything you see, send it our way.
My only question on that is, can you redirect plbc.org to go to the new website? I don't know how to do it, but I know there's a way.
Yeah,
Because it does
I've
still
been dragging my feet on that just because I want to make sure we get the entire archive off of there before, because then it's harder to get back in, you even do that. But yeah,
That would be awesome.
we will.
Or maybe even on the top of that website, does it say go here instead?
On the home page, it does. It's not on the top of every single page, but
Maybe
it
consider
could be.
that,
Yeah,
just
it
like
could be.
dropping a text box of,
Yep.
check this website.
Yeah, ideally, we're just going to redirect it.
Yeah.
And it's eventually going to go away. It's only got a 1-year license anyway. That's now 4 months spent already. So it's eventually just going to go away. But yeah.
Thank you for your work on it.
Great, thanks, Jeff. Let's talk about elections for 2025.
Okay. I passed out to all of you, the directors, and there are some copies in the back, thank you. I forget it, I apologize. There are some copies of Timeline to Election 2025 in the back of the room, the table, if you're interested in following along. This was given to all the directors today for you to check over. We listed as much as we could think of when our committee meets, what publicity we're going to do and with whom we are doing the publicity, which is the Voice, e-blasts, our e-blasts, and also next door. Let's see, we also talk about when we are preparing different items like the candidate statement. We, at the end of July, we request the NPR parcel list from the assessor's office, and we use that as our, whoops, I'm going away again. We use that as our list in late August. So we let everybody know when we're having the election, the fact that it's mostly online. I'll speak to that in a minute. And now I forgot what I was going to say next, so I'll talk about that. If people do not have a computer or are not able to go online for whatever reason, we will provide some paper ballots at the 2 clubs. They will be in a craft paper brown box that is on a podium and either in front of the the building, each cult building itself or an SPCA, they prefer to have it left inside, so it'll be right inside the door. On a very timely manner. It's a little bit more than we want to spend for a group this size. So we are thinking of using our new Google webspace.
Workspace, yep.
Thank you, Workspace. To do our elections, we just have to find out if we were committed to do election buddy for the 2025 election. We haven't been able to get a hold of our former treasurer to find out if he took care of that for us or not, so we're still working on that. Are you going to talk about candidates? Sure. We need candidates to get their candidate statements in by July the 14th, so it's coming right up. I've got 2 people that are interested already, and 3 people from our board will be running for re-election. We also obviously announced the results of our election at our annual meeting, and I think John is going to talk about the date of our annual meeting in a little while. We're not sure when we have it. I'm not sure. Maybe we know, but I don't know. Yes. And then the first week of October, we'll have the final ballot results that we'll get from either Election Buddy or from the Google Workspace. And then on October 21st, we'll have a post-election summary presentation to the board. That is at our workshop. And then in November, we will submit the election results to The Voice, RE Glass, Nextdoor, PDN, Hello, Peninsula Daily News, and The Leader. If that would be, The Leader will be Ned Luce's column. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Either from the floor or from the... Yes, Dave McDermott, I think that you raised your hand.
over there?
Go ahead.
And you've got perhaps 2 people in the community interested in running.
Right.
You've got 2 on the board who are going to run for re-election.
3.
Pardon?
Hopefully 3.
Actually, it's 2.
2.
Thank you.
And how many seats need to be filled?
Well, we can fill up to 7 seats.
So maybe anybody here in the audience who might be interested.
Considering the source.
Another member of this committee, thank you, Dave. Anybody else?
John's never been able to thank me enough. That's him to serve. Think of what you can do for your friends.
So first of all, thanks for all of the detail in the timeline, Tam. Several comments. I guess the first one is some of the dates in the timeline will change contingent upon it had been proposed probably close to a year ago at some point along there. The president is going to be absent for that annual meeting and unavailable, and so we have to reschedule that. Or it could be held without the president, but so far the consensus appears to be to change the date. So we have looked at October 16th as a potential date, and the venue was not available on October 16th, so we have some alternate dates available from the Bay Club and from the Beach Club. So from the Bay Club, one possibility from the Beach Club would be October 23rd from 3 to 5. And then from the Bay Club, we have several options. October 27th, October 28th, October 30th, and October 31st are available. And October 21st is a possibility if we wanted to shift our workshop away from that date, and they would move we would make it the annual meeting, and they would move it to the auditorium. So October 21st is also a potential date that's available. Do we want to decide that today? Do we want to make that decision at our workshop later this month? What's the preference?
My recommendation would be wait so we can discuss it at the.
Yeah.
the workshop.
So at our workshop, we will